Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents. In today's episode, EM tried to get her daughter my job because I'm chubby. Entitled parent tries to steal seat because you guys are not even talking, and then she complains we are faking a disability. Entitled mom bitches about $5 for half an hour and blocking the line. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. EM tried to get her daughter my job because I'm chubby. I'm F and home from college. The stay-at-home order in my town is slowly being lifted, so some businesses are finally opening up. My parents require me to have a summer job. I'm blessed enough that I get to keep all the money I earn. My parents just like me to work to gain experience. This will be relevant later, but I'm not a skinny girl. I wouldn't consider myself large either. I'm 5 feet 6 inches and weigh about 140 to 145 pounds right now and carry most of it in my hips and thighs. The freshman 15 did hit me hard though, as I used to be 120-ish. So today, after finishing my last online final, my dad called me. He told me that one of his friends who runs a company texted him that they were looking for girls to work in the office, answering phones and stuff. I got excited because that's exactly what I wanted, so I put on a dress, printed a copy of my resume, and drove down. The ladies inside were super nice and asked me to fill out an application, so I sat down to do so, and this is where the EM enters. Here's everyone involved. EM entitled mom. E.g. entitled girl, F, probably 16-ish. P. me. DL1 desk lady 1, front desk, this woman is relatively thin, which will be relevant later. DL2 desk lady 2, desk further back, but still in room, this woman is plus sized, which will be relevant later. B. boss of the business. We're in the South, which might be relevant, because typically for jobs like this they're looking for a pretty face to sit behind the counter and talk to customers. This is unspoken, though. Yes, it's awful, but hey, I needed a job. So, as I'm filling out an application, EM enters with, for example. She announces that she's here about the opening and her daughter would like to apply. DL1 explains that she'll need to fill out an application and hands her one and a pen. They come sit in the lobby, right beside me, which I thought was weird, but I didn't say anything. EM, to me, are you here for the job as well? P, yes ma'am. EM, humph. You know, that little cocky sound people make? I ignored her and went up to ask DL1 a question about the application. It was about how professional one of my references for babysitting was. When I returned and sat back down, EM walked up to the desk. EM, does my daughter even really need to fill this out? DL1, it's protocol, boss, will look at all the applications and decide who to call for an interview. EM, is he here? I'm sure if he could see my daughter he'd know who he wanted to call, huh? DL1, he is, but he isn't seeing visitors right now. EM, how will he know who to hire if he doesn't know what the girls look like? DL1, well, he will need to see their references and will make a few calls before he dash. EM, no. My daughter is an aspiring model. She won, insert local pageant, in 2019. He needs to see her to know she's the face he wants to see behind the counter interacting with customers. DL1, I'm not sure what you mean. This isn't a modeling job, looks don't really matter. EM, oh I know, but they do. And let's face it, boss isn't going to want at this point. She leans in closer to DL1, a chubby girl up here, is he? This whole time, EG is smirking at me in glances as she fills out her application. This caught the attention of DL2 as well as me, and we both looked up at this point. DL2, ma'am, I'm not sure I know what you mean. EM, oh, no disrespect, I just know, boss, personally, and know he'd prefer a new pretty face around the office. Maybe I'm a little biased, but I think there's no question between my daughter and, well, this young lady, for example, me. No offense, honey, just trying to save you some time. At this point, I'm in tears. I don't know if it was rage or the sting of her insult, but either way, I was not going to let her see me cry, so I quickly got up and handed my application to DL1 before trying to leave. DL2, a plus-sized woman. Sweetie, wait. Talking to me? DL2, you say you know, boss, personally, right? To EM? EM, oh, yes, we went to high school together. DL2, and you know him so well that you know he'd prefer a skinny woman behind this desk? EM, well, I didn't say that, she did, but I'd assume so. DL2, great. Well, I'm his wife and I've worked behind this desk for almost 15 years now, and as you can see I could probably drop a few, and I take personal offense to what you're saying about my husband and this young lady, so I'd like you to wait in the car while your daughter fills out her application. EM and EG both stormed out at that point. EG took her application, so I don't know if she'll apply or not. But both women behind the counter told me that EM was a bitch and they'd vouch for me with the boss, so I'm hopeful I got the job. Update, oh my goodness, you guys are so kind. Thank you everyone for the awards and compliments, I'm so overwhelmed. You've all made my little heart so happy, smiley face. A lot of you want to know if I got the job. Today, I went in for an interview and just got home from that. It went well and I'm hoping for a call soon and I'll update you when I know. Smiley face. Update 2, hey guys. So I still haven't gotten a call or anything. I'm starting to think maybe they wanted somebody long-term and not just for the summer. Sorry to disappoint y'all, but if they do call me I'll be sure to update. People suck sometimes. Hold your head high and be proud of who you are. Drive and determination will serve you well. A music producer and gamer I follow, the Fat Rat, says that his artist name and moniker for gaming, the Fat Rat, came from an insult thrown at him in 4th grade. Just saying, you're not overweight. 140 pounds is a proper weight for a young woman of your height. Thank you, Red Heart. I had to convert to international units to see if what you were saying was true or big culture. But yeah, I would consider that a normal weight too. I had to covert, but 66 kilograms is much? Girl, I have good news for you, your weight is medically perfect, so if you feel good and don't have trouble doing basic sports, basketball, running, etc., you are in great shape. Thank you. I don't think it's much too, it's just the most I've ever weighed and I'm not quite skinny but definitely still striving to be healthy. But thanks regardless. Yeah, I'm 5 feet 5 inches and 150 and all of those stupid BMI charts tell me I'm overweight. I hit the gym 5x a week. I weighed 130 before I started working out and lifting consistently. They are not accurate. What a lovely example that woman is setting for her daughter. That kind of attitude is rarely tolerated in workplaces. If it is tolerated, usually that person won't have any friends amongst co-workers. It's honestly quite sad that she's setting her daughter up this way. I would be willing to bet that this is going to cause a lot of problems for the daughter in the long run in both her professional and personal life. Shame on that woman. P.S. I'm rooting for you to get this job. Please update us. Thank you so much. Going back tomorrow, so hopefully an update soon. That daughter is learning her only value in this world is her looks. She has nothing else to offer but a pretty face. Can you imagine how sad that must feel? Poor kid. Well, if DL2 is his wife, then I would bet you get the job. I am really hoping so. The only reason I might not is because I'm not sure if they need someone year-round. I go to college about an hour away, so I would only be available for the summer. Opie, the fact that you remained professional when being mistreated probably says a lot about how you'd handle an irate customer. Good luck with the interview. I'm 5 feet 6 inches and weigh about 140 to 145 pounds right now and carry most of it in my hips and thighs. Girl, that's not even a 70 kilo. So considering your age and height, you are far from overweight. FYI lovely, 140/150 is not fat. I wouldn't even say it's chubby. FYI your BMI would be right in the middle of the healthy weight category. Don't let another person tear you down to build themselves up. It doesn't matter how pretty or attractive someone thinks they are. Their ugly will always show through. They'll end up broke from all the Botox they end up having, divorced and alone because no one will tolerate them, and usually they end up with leather-looking skin and vile turkey necks. We've all seen it happen. Entitled parent tries to steal seat because you guys are not even talking, and then she complains we are faking a disability. Hello there ladies and gentle ladies, this wonderful story occurred last Sunday and I've been ruminating on posting it. So a bit of backstory, I, 14M, have ADHD which causes me to have an awful stutter, and my friend, 14M, has autism and normally wears noise-cancelling headphones/earphones as the noise and light can send him into a meltdown. Because of this we tend to communicate in BSL. As I don't stutter and he can be in perfect silence. I also was in a very dark space a few years ago and I regularly go to the gym and go for runs as it gives me time to think. Because of this I am pretty hench. Anywho's backstory out of the way. My friend and I were strolling along on one of our usual paths that has some really nice views and minimal cars. About halfway into the walk there is a pub, bar for you Yanks, and because the British heat is ridiculous we decided that we would go in and get a lemonade or a shandy depending on how lucky we were. The whole time communicating in sign language. After took our seats, the last seats under the covered area outside, a woman who I think I'll call Karen walked up to us with a little kid in tow. She loudly boomed in her stuck-up voice, boys, I think you'll find those are my seats. See, I know the pub owner, so you best move. Besides, you weren't even talking anyway, just take your drink to go. Now ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something, we also knew the owner because the owner is my friend's, the one who is with me now, Dad. I then managed to string together a comprehensible set of words, we were just using sign language. Then the Karen said, oh, so you're faking a disability, God, what is wrong with your generation, seemingly forgetting her brat behind her who was tugging on her hand throwing a hissy fit. Now rather nervous I managed to stutter out we're and not though we just prefer to CC communicate this way. At this point the Karen is screaming a slurry of insults at us asking me to speak up and to just FING move. She then tried to grab me and my friend and throw us off the bench. This set my friend off and he started having a meltdown. This caused his father to come outside as he realized that something was wrong. The lady continues to berate me, punctuating her word by knocking a finger into her chest at the end of every word. At this point I had it, so I punctuated back, considerably harder. As the lady was stumbling backwards she somehow managed to stay upwards despite her blubber. However, she had stepped on her child's finger as he was on the floor. In a hissy fit this sent the kid crying harder and her eyes finally landed on our hero of this story. My friend's dad, who was hugging my friend trying to calm him down. She somehow did not see that he was hugging one of his patrons she assaulted seconds earlier and did not seem to make the connection, so she screamed, "Manager, this person just assaulted me." At this point my friend's dad was such a shade of red that if I took my glasses off and squinted I couldn't tell a strawberry and him apart. He then proceeded to shout a string of expletives at this woman that even I didn't know. Since that didn't send the woman packing, he then shouted, "I will call the cops if you don't leave right now." This seemed to spur some action into the lady and she promptly dragged her kid off the floor and scurried away like the vermin she is. Leaving one autistic child in a meltdown, me pretty miffed a crack in the brand new decking from where she stumbled back and dents from where the kid was throwing a tantrum on the floor and stamping his feet. Plus one angry pub owner. Drinks were nice though, got something considerably harder than a shandy to calm the nerves as he said. But had to cut our walk short as my friend was still not in the best state. What an awful parent. I feel so sorry for you and your friend for going through that, especially when you rightfully had taken those shaded seats before she came into the picture, and for being attacked for using sign language to communicate with each other. She definitely had it coming the moment she decided to throw the two of you off your seats on top of hurling vulgar slurs to the both of you. Also, shout out to your friend's dad for not only comforting his son when he was distressed, but also telling that crazy parent off. Hope you and your friend are doing well. Cool, using sign language. One of my friends taught their kids sign language so they could communicate discreetly in church and other situations where chattering was inappropriate. Sorry for your friend's meltdown. I'm wondering, what was she thinking, even if she didn't understand sign language, that you had to be talking in order to qualify to have seats in the shade? Some entitlement knows no bounds. Father, imagine moving your mouth as a requirement to sitting down. I love that you can both do some sign language. She sounds awful. You have a future as a writer. I could perfectly picture the scene from your description. Autism meltdowns suck, and you are a true friend who understands. You did brilliantly for yourself too. I could too. I can just imagine on a street corner with a stone road on the side, with the pub just sitting there in between other business/building, with a bench outside. We have pubs in the US. They just traditionally only serve beer, no hard alcohol. Just wanted to let you know. LOL Ed. No hate to OP, but we do know that word. Weird, we have pubs and bars in Canada, and they all serve both. Would be hard pressed to find a pub that didn't serve whiskey/rye or rum. I'm so sorry you had to endure such a nasty person. You handled it beautifully. One thing I've always really liked about the UK are the signs on the handicap toilets saying not every disability is visible. Keep being awesome. Yeah. I'm from the US and on vacation in UK, and seeing one of those on the train seats was so nice. I have ADHD, and it honestly meant a lot to me because my own parents sometimes forget I have ADHD, or just straight up ignore it and use it against me. What is with parents today taking their kids into bars to hog space from paying patrons? I was in a thread yesterday about this very issue in my hometown, and so many Redditors were defending bringing a child to a brewery. Pubs in the UK are different than bars in the US. Pubs are more family establishments, with food and non-alcoholic drinks. You can take your family to get a bite to eat. It varies from pub to pub, I assume, on how kid-friendly they are. I could be wrong cause I'm from the US, but that's what I've heard. She is an absolute wagon. I hope you were both okay, especially your poor friend. What does it mean to be hench? More slang I'm too old to know? Strong, fit, and having well-developed muscles, typically used of a man. There's nothing funnier than seeing a really hench guy walking a tiny dog. Entitled mom bitches about $5 for half an hour and blocking the line. So I work as a host for a restaurant, and yesterday was Father's Day, so it was packed. I worked pretty much the entire day, woke up at 10 a.m. and clocked in at 12 p.m. I sat this family down at around 3 p.m. and didn't think much of it. About half an hour later, complaints were rolling in. The customers were trying to make substitutions with the combo meals, and that wasn't allowed except for certain items. It wasn't for some small combo either, it was worth $100 plus, and she kept trying to squeeze in expensive items to substitute the less expensive ones. When the restaurant emptied out a bit, the manager stopped by at the front desk for a break and a chat. She started to complain about these customers who 1. Pretended they didn't get a part of their combo when the busboy, chefs, and waitress could confirm it was made and was sent to their table. 2. Started holding the check and tip as hostage to fix the order. 3. Returned $40 plus worth of food after a bite because they were too full. I didn't really care too much and just took it as an interesting story because it didn't affect me, but it did leave a horrible impression. After the customers were done with everything, they sent their checks with 2 coupons. Our company policy around coupons are pretty strict, because it would only allow for a single coupon for each table to prevent customers splitting their orders and leaving a coupon in every single one of them. I took the $5 off, printed the receipt and sent it back to waitress. She comes back saying that the customer was complaining about how the second coupon wasn't used, when it clearly said only one coupon for a table in the back. I was pretty grouchy and couldn't be bothered after 4 hours of sleep, so I just took off the price for the hush puppies they had and sent the receipt back. Card swiped, money paid, tips? Done, customers leave, right? If only. A couple minutes later, an old lady stomped back to the front with the poor waitress in tow, demanding to know why the second coupon, which said when ordering an entree, you can enjoy a complimentary entree for free up to $10 value, didn't take $10 off their order, but instead took $5.15. Technically, that was an invalid coupon because we didn't have any entrees below $10, and nowhere did it say that it would take $10 off their check. I tried explaining that she didn't order any entrees below $10, so I just took off the hush puppies. She said, but that says $10. I didn't really catch her point and just said, and? So I should get $10 off. No, the coupon gives you a free entree under $10, which you didn't order. Hello? Can you read? She started waving her hands in front of my face, lifted the coupon close, underlined $10 with her nails, and said $10. Entree. Hush puppies aren't entrees. This cycle goes on a couple times with our voices slowly getting louder before she busts out the "then I want a refund" card. I gave up and decide to just give her $10 off. Worst comes to worst, I'll just pay out of my own pocket. There were customers waiting behind her, and I might as well get this over with. Just when I tell her fine, she took the opportunity to taunt with her daughter recording as backup. Hush puppies aren't an entree, they're appetizers. I should be getting $10 off my entree. Can you even read? She had a shit-eating smile on her face. Now, there were plenty of cards I could have played here, with the pettiest being the race card, that realized just now. But, I just got angry and decided to argue. I won't lie, some of the stuff I said belonged to a fantasy novel with how cringe some of the lines were. I'm rolling around in bed with embarrassment while typing this. Here's how the convo roughly went. Me, you know what? No. I'm not giving you a discount. OB. I want to see a manager. Me, well, congrats. You're speaking to the manager, and the final answer is no. OB, you're obviously not, because I've already spoken to a manager. You shouldn't be working front desk with your attitude. Me, good for you, but final answer is no. Our voices have been steadily rising at this point, and the actual manager walked in and tried to break us up. Then, the funniest thing happened, her daughter tried to gaslight me and directly lie to the manager, and maybe the audience for her TikTok or whatever. We've been polite all this time, but you've been standing here calling us stupid. Matter of fact, I hated this girl more than her presumed mom. She's the textbook example of a gaslighter, and she's probably the inspiration behind Key & Peele's short about the person who always say awkward. All the way down to that dumb side smirk and how she makes you feel dumb when you've done nothing but defend your point. She kept gassing up her mom and played the perfect Karen supporting role by trying to find any morale high ground or threats. She even tried to pit the waitress against me using the tip, saying that she might not get a tip because of me, a crisp $5 bill after an hour and a half of listening and adjusting their orders to their complaints. It ended with the manager caving in and giving them the discount, and they left happy and scot-free. I think I should have just held it in a bit better. Now I got a video of me floating around somewhere acting like a prick, and I have nothing gained. I felt super frustrated at the manager, but now I understand there was nothing she could do. People need to stop treating food industry workers like slaves. Amazing. Who returns a meal because they were full? If you don't want to eat it, don't order it, dumbass. And if you accidentally order too much, you bring the rest home for later. I've literally never been anywhere that this was a thing. Maybe it's just cause I'm Canadian, but that wouldn't fly here. Hell, there's been times that the hot dessert we got was frozen, or we were given the wrong thing completely, and we had to argue for 10+ minutes just to get a hot one / the right thing, and even then, it's about a 25% chance we're shit out of luck, and we still have to pay for it. You cannot comp people like this anything because they'll view you as a pushover and keep demanding more money off the bill. As a manager, I would have told that person to leave the restaurant and I wouldn't have granted them any concessions. Leave a bad review. I don't care, but I will respond. If someone wants to throw stories around, reality always slaps harder, and I absolutely am that manager that's on Google reviews responding to idiots who think they're clever. Manager should see a doctor, needs to have their backbone checked, obviously they don't have one. I hope she paid with a credit card and you memorized the name. She may be on social media. You know her demon daughter is. Your manager let you and all the other employees down. The manager should have gotten the customer's full name. Before shutting her down, you received a discount. You aren't getting another. You disrespected my staff and ruined the dining experience of other diners. Leave now unless you prefer a police escort out of our business. This woman should be permanently banned from the restaurant. I'm sorry you had a shit day due to shit people. I can only hope a member of their family works in a restaurant in the future and meets them in the future. What's scary is they knew that they would get away with it. They probably do at every place. That's when management needs backbones and to support their staff and follow the rules. What about everyone else who doesn't bully staff and follow the rules? They don't get double discounts. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.